The Walt Disney Company is just months away from facing its largest competition they've ever experienced in the theme park capital of the world with the opening of Epic Universe. As a result, Disney is taking whatever steps it can to ensure the most profitable summer possible with their existing parks lineup. One of those steps has just been revealed, and it seems to indicate that the Mouse House is interested in encouraging Florida locals to visit their parks to make up for the loss of domestic and international tourists coming to see Universal's brand new theme park. Let's talk about Disney making annual passes more accessible for locals here on That Park Place. Speaking of value, however, looks like Disney, in response maybe to Epic Universe, is adjusting its value, not just at Walt Disney World, but also at Disneyland. As you can see right here, with all this stuff coming out for the Disneyland's 70th anniversary, apparently they're adjusting ticket prices just a little bit here. Disneyland revealed a new Disneyland anniversary ticket offer. Tickets valid May 16th through August 14th, so it's a very limited window. A 3-day ticket as low as $120 per day. That's interesting. 4-day ticket as low as $100 per day, and tickets can be used on non-consecutive days on sale starting March 11th. But that's not all that we're seeing. Like I said, they're responding to Epic Universe in interesting ways throughout their Disney Parks lineup domestically. Here you go from That Park Place. Walt Disney World annual pass down payment cut in half ahead of Epic Universe opening as executives look to save the summer, March 12th, 2025 by WW Pro, interestingly enough. There's been much talk about how Disney is seeing its summer bookings go up even as Epic Universe gets ready to open. From my vantage point, I don't always pay attention to what companies like the Walt Disney Company say publicly with carefully worded phrases. Instead, I'm more interested in their actions. Now that Disney is cutting the first payment on annual passes in half, I'm pretty confident in what the situation must be behind the scenes for Walt Disney World in 2025. Let's dive in. In Florida, the purpose of annual passes largely is to keep Disney mega fans and Florida residents churning through the turnstiles at times of the year when there are fewer guests from across the globe flooding into the most expensive place on earth. Sorry, Monaco. But when Disney has great attendance from the guests they truly want, seldom goers with big pockets ready to dish on a long-planned summer vacation, there's very little effort to drive up annual pass sales. After all, A-peeps go so often, know the tricks of how to get things cheaper, they spend less on average, you get the idea. They're great during off-peak seasons, but often blocked from even attending the parks during the most coveted days. So when Disney cuts the initial cost of entry by half, as summer is starting to be on the calendars, and as Universal Studios prepares to open the biggest competition Disney has ever seen in its existence, consider and be skeptical that blue skies and roses are all Disney World sees right now. And you can see the breakdown of what they're doing right here. I find this very interesting in multiple ways because they didn't just cut down the down payment for annual passes. They also increased a little bit as a result the monthly payments for annual passes. And you can see the adjusted prices right there as laid out beautifully by Scott Gustin. But I find this super, super fascinating. It looks like they understand that they're not going to be the biggest game in town, at least this summer, and they're adjusting accordingly. Are we taking too much from this, fellas, or is this exactly what's going on here?
No, that's what's going on. The one thing that Epic Universe does not have right now is annual pass holder traffic, because the Epic Universe is not included in any Universal annual passes as of this moment. So I think Disney is trying to corner the market on that. They're trying to lock down the locals. Look, Walt Disney World hates annual pass holders. It hates them with a fiery vengeance. Unless Disney is doing bad, then suddenly annual pass holders are the greatest thing ever, and we love you and appreciate you, and you're the best, and you're the lifeblood of our company, and blah 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 blah. And that's what's happening right now. But you know, the way that people are talking about this, and I'm glad Pro hit the nail on the head with this right here, is it is not a situation in which they have made annual passes cheaper. The annual pass price remains the same and will likely go up again this year. They are just making the barrier to entry smaller, which then makes your monthly payment go up. And this is for Florida residents, obviously, because non-Florida residents can only get the Incredipass Pass.
Yes. I think this is super fascinating because, like you said, Marvin, they're not necessarily reducing the price of annual passes. They would never do that, but they are making it easier to obtain. And that's, I think, a very crucial distinction right here. I think they are worried that the international visitors or domestic tourists that maybe are coming in from out of state that only go so infrequently aren't really going to be turning through those turnstiles anytime soon. And so I think they're going to have to lean in more into their annual passes. Or pass holders. The problem, though, is that with the cuts to entertainment and so forth, things that used to bring annual pass holders back more often, I don't really think they're going to be compelled to really buy into this kind of aging and failing product. Culture, what do you have to say about that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Marvin.
Well, before culture, real quick, I was just going to say the one thing that Disney annual pass holders love more than anything else is Walt Disney World, and that is what they are destroying with removing the Rivers of America and Muppet Vision and things like that. So, yeah, I think annual pass holders are not going to want to go as much. And the second that Universal opens Epic Universe to their annual pass holders, which I predict will be sometime in early 2026, it's going to be a whole new ball game. Sorry, culture, go ahead.
No, I mean, to add to that, I'll just say this. About a decade ago, the last time that they were selling the premier passes, you could pick one up, I believe, for about $1,400, which was a dual pass that would allow you to go to both the Disney World and the California Disneyland parks. You had no blackout days, and it was actually, I guess maybe it was closer to 1,700, but regardless, it was under $2,000 to get a pass that would allow you 7 days a week, 365 days a year entry into these parks. And I actually a couple of times completed the challenge of going to an attraction in every park in Florida, then flying to California and going to an attraction in each of the parks in California. So from Florida to California in the same day to do all of that. And yes, I'm bragging on myself a little bit, but what I want to really brag on is the fact that think about the difference in what that pass would cost if it even existed today, which it doesn't. You buying 2 park passes to give you that kind of access. I think the Incredipass and what's the California version of whatever that is. So if you look at those today, you're looking to double that kind of money that you're spending. It didn't used to be that way. And again, the parks generate revenue from not just the ticket sales, and of course now they're trying to do it with extra spending, but they also generate revenue from every minute you spend in the parks because you are constantly buying something to drink, eating something, getting souvenirs. I mean, you cannot leave there without spending at least $100 in survival while you're at the park. So they're disgusting. And look, Epic is going to make them look absolutely ridiculous, and I'm here for it. I really am.
Oh, I'm here for it as well. I mean, I can't wait to see what Epic brings with it. I mean, we're already seeing, right? There's been this coordinated campaign to really restore some effects that haven't been working for quite some time. We ran a big story on that and got a lot of audience engagement with that. So thank you so much for supporting stuff like that, because we like to hey, Disney's actually doing some good here. But it like you said, Marvin, in that video, seemed to be in response to Epic Universe, right? So this shifting of gravity, this shifting of the center of gravity is already having some good effects, at least in terms of raising the competition level to where Walt Disney World or Disney must respond to it. So I think the way they're doing this with pricing, I think, is one way that they're doing it, and also too maybe increasing the maintenance of some of their parks might be a way that they do it later on. I think entertainment really needs to be shored up before you start convincing anybody that they should be opting into an annual pass holder program over there in Central Florida. But hey, maybe that's just me. Well, anybody else?
When there's competition, the individual that benefits the most from it is the consumer.
Yes.
When the company has to work hard for your money and doesn't get into this mentality that Disney has been in with its domestic parks for years, where it's just been like, well, we're Disney, you're coming anyway. Right. Now that there's a threat, like that's why I point to SeaWorld all the time as being something you shouldn't sleep on in Orlando, because SeaWorld has to try very hard for every dollar that they make, and there's effort put into SeaWorld. If you're going to start seeing that from both Disney and Universal, well, then it can only be good for consumers.
The consumer is the winner, indeed, 100%.
100% indeed. And also too, Theme Park Wizard is in the chat right now talking about how he is a travel agent. And yes, he's a very good one indeed. He's a contributor on That Park Place. But hey, you know what? You're booking something. Why don't you go ahead and give Wizard a look-see. I think it'll be awesome. You can go ahead and find his Twitter account on type in Google. It should pop up right there.
And he's not kidding. He can save you a lot of trouble and a lot of time and oftentimes quite a bit of money, because there's some deals that the travel agents get for their clients that aren't available to everybody else.
Indeed. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched us. You are amazing. You are fantastic. You're the gigawatts, as Pro would say, in keeping with the theme right there. And also, too, if you haven't liked this video yet, please like this video. Share us out on, all your social medias if you like us a lot. And be sure to subscribe for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.